I remember one show from my childhood. Only one. In fact, this is the only full memory I have of my childhood before I moved. When I was about 4, I lived in a condo. It was average sized and fairly nice. That's about all I know to describe it, other than it was 2 stories. I can't remember what I did there, but I know I was not old enough to attend school. Instead, I spent all day at home trying to amuse myself. It's funny, I never remember leaving my home other than to play in the yard. Even then, I never left the front yard. I do remember one thing very well. I remember a TV show I watched. It played on Cartoon Network at 2:30 a.m. I don't remember ever doing anything else at the condo. I would watch this show. I cannot remember the name, nor can I remember any character name. I can only remember one character name, the Boogieman. He was very strange. He'd wear a nice suit and carry a cane, and his head was like a brain exposed and swollen. It was green, too, a very bright green like fresh summer grass. He'd spin around. He'd spin as the only thing my young brain would equate to a ballerina. He'd spin around and around while singing in a terribly strange voice. Words I cannot recall. I think it was something like, "Here comes the Boogieman, here comes the Boogieman." The other characters looked as if they were high school students. Considering shows from the same time period, they must have been middle school students in the show. There was your stereotypical cast. A black girl and a white girl, a leader, boy, a cowardly male, and a geeky girl. The geeky girl spent all the episodes on a computer, clicking away at keys that monitored their environment. The school. Yes, this all took place at a school. A red, pink, brown brick school. This school had lots of surveillance cameras. This year at this point was 2001. There are no children's shows had really adapted to the 9/11 standards of camera everywhere. Hell, even now in shows, you almost never see cameras in schools like they're in my high school. I found this strange. At my age, never having been to a school, I remember that I thought schools never had cameras. There were 4 different areas that were used a lot. A hallway intersection, a classroom for a nondescript class, an outside lunch table, and a dark room. The hallways were always a pink-red color with shiny tiles and the walls in off-white. These kids would sneak into the school after dark every night to try and catch the Boogieman. It didn't seem like they wanted to go and find him, as the only time they left the room was when they needed something. Otherwise, they'd stay in the classroom, barring the doors with chairs and having a girl at the computer tell them where he was in the school, using the cameras. And there was a gum dispensing machine by the monitor. It was a replica of the Boogieman, but with a purple brain head, and it was really small. And they all looked like they were out of breath, like they had just finished running. One episode had the Boogieman spinning down the intersection singing. The student all sat there watching him on the monitor. He kept singing, "Here comes the Boogieman." After a few seconds, his song continued, going past what must have been the chorus. "The Boogieman will always come. The Boogieman is scared of none. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Your rotting bodies will fall to rust." To my innocent mind, at 2 in the morning was perfectly fine. I then thought of something. I never actually saw the kids enter the school. I never saw them with equipment to catch this Boogieman. It was never dark. The outside table was well lit by the sun. They never showed any students ever leave the building. And one last thing, the pinkish tiles were a bit darker than pink. It was a rather shiny maroon shade. This show isn't on anymore. It seemed like a lot like Are You Afraid of the Dark? This is more than a scary story, more than just another knockoff of Candle Cove. This is a true, honest-to-God show I remember as a kid, and any information you have on it would be very helpful if anyone remembers the name of the show.